fellow Star Wars nerds, and welcome to Unlimited Content, the podcast where two brothers talk about all Star Wars film and TV in chronological order on the internet as an excuse to hang out more. We're your hosts, Sam and Jack, and this week we're talking about The Clone Wars, Season 4, Episodes 21 and 22, Brothers and Revenge, the two-part finale of Season 4, Sam.
Whoa.
We finished Season 4 today. How did that happen?
Wow. We're doing it. We're doing it. Jack, it is good. This episode's called Brothers. Mm-hmm. We're brothers. There's that. We got that going for us.
Are you leading into a revenge thing? Are you going to be plotting revenge?
We both are trying to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi now. That's how it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the revenge. Yep.
He's just too charming. He's too dang charming and handsome.
Yep. Too charming. Too nature sweet.
Too fast, too furious.
Too fast, too furious. Too expensive. Bills.
What? What's too expensive?
Bills. Oh. Bills are too.
I was like when you started saying words, I was like, this is the beginning of his transition into the ad spiel, and I was like, I don't know how he's gonna get there. Oh. And then eventually you got there in a way that I didn't expect. So
look at us.
Props to you. Props to you. Sir, who'd have thought? Yeah, we have bills to pay, and luckily this week's episode of Unlimited Content is brought to you by prosthetic limbs.
Ooh, prosthetic limbs. Thank you, prosthetic limbs.
Yes, especially when they're all spidery.
Yep, Maul had 10 of them in total.
Yes, did he have? Yeah, I guess. So he had the 8 for being
and then 2 new
spider,
ones.
Then 2 more, and then later on he also gets 2 others because he gets new legs later.
It's a full dozen prosthetic limbs. That's probably more than Grievous.
Dang.
We could count. It's probably more than Grievous gets.
Honestly, yeah, maybe.
In terms of it's on-screen replaced limbs.
Yeah. True.
Might be.
Although, all of Grievous's look identical, so we can't. It's all just based on we could have had them replaced many times.
That's
we
true.
Just don't know.
But we're just we know that Maul kills a bunch of people off screen because he's just trapping people and eating people because that's what he does apparently. This episode, those don't count for the kill count, and the limbs don't count for Grievous at all. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I was just in this conversation where we were talking about.
No, I know.
Grievous versus Maul. Anyway.
Indeed.
Yeah. Prosthetic limbs. Very cool things. Very, very just incredible feats of modern medicine and technology.
Oh, yeah.
And also cool sci-fi things where you can get weird hands and arms that do cool stuff.
Yeah.
For example, replacing your hand when your dad chops it off of you. That's a bummer. But
Thanks,
also
Dad.
when thanks, Dad. And also when a guy bisects you and then leaves you for dead for 10 years, and you decide to use the force and your sheer force of will and anger to create big old spidery legs for yourself.
Indeed. We love that.
So yeah, I feel like the prosthetic limbs deserve some recognition, especially in the realm of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Also in the realm of reality because they're very cool. Have you seen all the in recent years all the developments people have? This is not the area of expertise for me, but I just have seen.
Not yet.
Maybe. We don't know if I'll lose a limb, and I'll need to become an expert.
It'll make sense when I talk. You have a thought, and then I have a thought, and it'll make sense when I share my thought. But you share your thought first.
I was just saying is that there's a lot of cool open source projects for prosthetic limbs. People putting up 3D print files, things like that.
Yeah.
Up online for to people, so people can type in their own these are my measurements of my arm, or what how long it needs to be and whatever, and then it'll spit out a 3D printer file for all the different bits and bobs that you need to build yourself a new arm or a hand or something.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes. I follow this guy on TikTok who he has a prosthetic arm, but he 3D prints his own, and he will make different hand attachments like Captain Hook from Peter Pan. He'll just get different things. My favorite one is he's got a couple. I think he's got the one that he got the most I think that made him internet famous was he made himself a Lego hand for his so it's just the yellow kind of C-shaped hand that is on all Lego minifigs. But I think maybe I'm just imagining this into existence, but I feel I saw he basically modded a Nerf gun to go onto the end of his prosthetic limb so that he like was Mega Man, and it was great.
That's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised that that's a thing.
Yeah, if that happened to me, that's exactly what I would do. Want you to know that I would turn myself into Mega Man, but with a Nerf gun.
In terms of other cool like people online making and showing off their own prosthetic limbs, there's a YouTube channel called Nerd Forge, and they're like a maker channel. They make cool like cosplay props and decorate the room and make custom PC builds, and just they're very crafty, cool, artistic people. And one of the two like hosts, Martina, I think they're from Sweden.
Those Swedes.
Hold on. They're from Scandinavia somewhere. Hold on. I have to Google this because I feel bad.
You should feel bad, Jack. Feel bad right now.
Where are Nerd Forge from? They're from Norway. I'm so sorry.
Norway.
Yeah.
They're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
That's like saying they're from New England, but like getting Vermont and New Hampshire mixed up. It's the same thing.
I mean, I'm sure. First of all, I'm sure that people from Vermont and New Hampshire would have things to say about that, and I'm sure also think people from Sweden and Norway would have things to say about that.
There are like 4 of them, and one of them is Bernie Sanders, so we're fine. We're gonna be all right. And the other one's Noah Khan. It's like Bernie Sanders and Noah Khan. Those are the only people from like that part of the country. That's it. The only ones who exist.
I bet all the other people
and Stephen King
who've been from there are also mad.
No, Stephen King's from Maine, I think. Maybe New Hampshire or Maine. I can't remember.
Maine.
It's all the same. It's way up there.
Cool. Anyway, Martina from
we no
Nerd
longer
Forge.
have any fans in northern New England.
Oh no! All of our Norwegian fans and Maine fans. And, dang. Well, bye everybody.
That's it. Calling it a podcast.
In the course of making one of her videos, Martina, one of the two co-hosts of Nerd Forge, accidentally cut off her pinky. What? And so she made a glove that gives her a robotic pinky with a little flashlight in it.
Well, like her whole pinky's gone.
She can't. Well, and it's like the top half of her pinky, something like that. Okay. Like a couple nubs down kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, she lost her pinky in an accident and decided to make the best of it. And the video about it, which is called "I Lost My Finger, So I Made a New One," is their most viewed video on their YouTube channel, which is great. So,
I also recently watched a YouTube video. I also recently watched a YouTube video of a guy who lost part of his finger. I don't know how YouTube is just like the YouTube algorithm is getting both of us with people losing fingers. Are we gonna lose fingers? Is that gonna happen now? Is that how that works?
I mean, is it hereditary? Because we do have a grandfather who lost a finger. Yeah.
I remember when I'd like noticed when I was like 4 or 5 when I like actually noticed like Grams is like missing half his thumb, and I asked him what happened. He said Grams bit it off.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Either Grams or Granddad. I don't remember which, but it was either his dad or his wife bit off his thumb. It was a farming accident. That's actually what it was. But what he told me is that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's also like very on brand for him to like say something like that. Yeah. We love it. It's hilarious.
But yeah, thank you to our sponsor, Prosthetic Limbs, for sponsoring this episode of Limited Content. What?
I thought Gramps was sponsoring. Never mind.
Oh,
he should.
I mean, if Gramps wants to sponsor us. Yeah. All right, Sam, what have you been up to lately? It's been a busy time for you still with your job and whatnot.
That it has been busy. What have I been doing? Well, I still work a lot. I work a lot of hours. And I've been getting
not working.
What? Huh?
Better than not working.
It is better than not working. Audiobooks are still my best friend right now. I've started 2 audiobooks. I'm currently in the middle of both of them right now. One is at your recommendation, Jack. Cormac McCarthy's The Road.
Oh, okay.
I'm like halfway through it, and I had to put it down because it was very depressing.
Yeah,
it's incredibly depressing. You did, but like it was like a particularly like rough day. So I have complaints about working at the post office. They're like petty things that like don't really matter, but it's just like more of annoyances than like. So one of my routes. So I'm a new guy at the office, so they kind of just. I'm just to fill in. It also helps me kind of like learn all of the routes, but they just like if somebody's like calls in sick or is on vacation, they just send the new guys out to do those routes for a day. And one of these routes was at this like luxury apartment complex. And the mailroom is like the size of my house. Is this huge mailroom, and there was this one guy who like one of the things, like I'll deliver like all the letters and stuff first, and then the packages last, because I just like I don't want to carry the pack, because I have to carry it all in from the truck into the mailroom, and I'm like I'm just gonna carry in the mail first because it's easier to carry in that, deliver all that, and then come back with the packages and deliver the packages last. That's just kind of my rhythm for doing that. And this guy, like, it's like grown man, like in his mid-40s, was like, "Hey, do you have my package?" I was like, "Well, yeah, but I haven't delivered it yet. It's gonna be like an hour or so because it's a huge apartment complex." He's like, "Okay, well, it's a screen for my Tesla, and I really want it." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll have it when I have it. I will deliver it, but just not right this second." It's like, "Okay, I'll wait." And he waited for like 2 hours while I like delivered all like the full mailroom, and he just hovered.
Wait,
and like
he waited there.
He waited like in the mailroom. Or just like around, because it was like in the center part of the apartment complex. Or like it was this like, it's like also kind of like the clubhouse, and like the gym is in that room. They have like a dog spa in this place. Like it's like fancy, and like I walked in and it like just smelled like a nice department store when I walked into this clubhouse. Like it just like smelled like money. I don't know. Like it's just like there's like rich people just abound here. It just smelled expensive.
Yeah, Scrooge McDucking their way into piles
basically,
of gold.
Yeah. But it smelled really nice. It was like perfume everywhere, but like not too much. You know, it was like just kind of nice,
pleasant.
But it was like, oh, I can't afford this, so I'm just gonna deliver the mail and leave. But he just hovered for like 2 hours, and it was while he was hovering for like 2 hours, I was listening to Cormac McCarthy's The Road, and it was like, I'm having a bad time at work, and this is really depressing, and like, there's like, there's like cannibals and like this guy and his kid, and like there's a gun involved, and it was dark, and I don't want to. It's
rough.
It's rough. I'm gonna maybe not listen. I think at that point I like switched to listening to music instead. Like I'm just gonna listen to Sammy Ray and the Friends. It's just gonna make me happy, and I just what is the polar opposite of Cormac McCarthy's The Road? Sammy Ray and the Friends' new album.
Honestly, yeah, that is the duality of man. Is on the one end you've got Sammy Ray and the Friends, and on the other hand you've got Cormac McCarthy.
Yeah. Thank you, Cool Doug at Night, for getting me through that shift. It's the greatest song of all time, Cool Doug at Night.
It's great.
It's so great. So listening to that, I will finish it, just not immediately. And then today I started listening to The Foundation by Isaac Asimov, which is Dad's favorite book of all time. And I am really...
Isn't it a trilogy?
It is a trilogy, yeah. So I'm a quarter of the way through the first book. It's good. I like it. I'm realizing I'm just a big fan of just like classic sci-fi books, of just like it's a good compelling story, but like there's a lot of just like random technical details that just kind of flesh out kind of like the sciencey part of it, and my brain like it just kind of scratches this itch in my brain that I love. I think I first realized like Jurassic Park, like all of Michael Crichton's books are like that, just kind of like very like technical sciencey, but like within like a cool like high stakes story.
Bingo. Dino DNA.
Dino DNA. Yeah. So I'm enjoying it a lot. It's the first like big kind of twist. I think it's the first. I mean, big twist in the book just kind of happened, and I like it. I'm excited to keep listening to it tomorrow.
Nice.
But those are kind of the two things I've been doing, because that's kind of my life. Is just that the weather's getting nicer, so it's not getting as like, it was like in the 70s and windy today, so it was great.
Nice. Yeah. Things have not quite cooled off yet in Texas, unfortunately. We're still in like the 90s every day.
You could move to Kansas City.
It is, as we're recording this, October 6th, so we're well into fall at this point, but
yes,
Texas fall is usually brief and takes a while to get here.
Yep, and then all the leaves turn brown all at once, and they fall off, and then it's just cold and rainy for 3 months, and that's winter in Texas.
I am very much looking forward to, maybe my favorite day of the year is the day when I come outside and it feels like fall for the first time. I'm like, I could like, it's like a weight has been lifted, and I'm just like awake and alive and alert more than I have been, because it's, I don't know, I really like it when it's cool out and nice and breezy, and just it's so relaxing and good, and I feel like reinvigorated by it. So
oh yeah, that's
very much looking forward to whenever that happens.
Tonight was a night like that at the Ford house. We sat on the porch after Sarah made a delicious dinner.
Oh yeah.
And Sarah and I, like Marion was playing in the front yard, and Sarah and I split a bottle of wine, and it was perfect outside. It was great.
Nice.
We loved it.
Cool. Excellent.
Yes.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I've been up to. I guess you mentioned food, so I'm gonna start with food stuff, which is that I tried the mac and cheese.
You did.
That you recommended.
You did.
Did you recommend it on the podcast, or was it after we were done recording?
I don't remember. I think it was on the podcast.
Okay.
But for
refresher, we were talking about mac and cheese.
Yep. So all like last week when we were recording the podcast, I had gotten home late-ish from work and like wasn't super hungry when I got home, and so I think I just had a snack and then put Marion to bed and then just like jumped on the podcast and started like podcasting, and I didn't really have a real dinner until like we were done recording. And we start recording at like 8 or 9 on a Sunday night. Yeah. And what time is it right now? Yeah, it's
9/11.
9/11. Never forget. Yeah. So like so the entire podcast I was just getting steadily hungrier and hungrier until like the end of the podcast. I think I just talked about mac and cheese for a lot of the time, and I told Jack my secret recipe for how I like make mac and cheese extra delicious. I just start with regular Kraft mac and cheese, put in a bunch of just shredded cheddar cheese, Parmesan, and then Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning. And I also put Tabasco, but I know you don't like Tabasco, so I didn't mention that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but you tried it. What'd you think?
Yes. So it was good. The one part I was worried about was the seasoning, because I'm not really, I don't know, I haven't had like Cajun food before even at all.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, I didn't know what to expect, so I got the seasoning, and I like, I did like a big batch of macaroni, and then did, my single serving in a bowl, and then seasoned that so that I could, not, just in case I didn't like it, so I wouldn't like contaminate the batch.
Waste the rest of it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I liked it. Like, I liked the flavor of it, but it felt, I don't know, it was a bit too strong for me, maybe.
It is very strong.
Like when I first got it,
a little goes a long way at Tony's.
Yeah, no, I did. I assumed it was going to be like that, so I did only do a tiny bit. Yeah. So it was like, it was good, but I was like, I would probably enjoy this more without it, is what I came to the conclusion of. But I don't know. I'll find my own some sort of set of seasonings to add to mac and cheese, and I'll share it with you all whenever I figure that out. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, when I opened the seasoning jar and I sniffed slightly, and I was immediately like,
yeah,
like, it was,
get you.
It went straight into my nostrils, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's
Tony's
a nice,
around. It's good stuff, but yeah, it's packs a punch.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I knowing what Sam is more into when it comes to like spices and seasoning and stuff, I was like, this is probably going to be too much for me, but I'm going to try it anyway, just because it's nice to try new things.
I feel honored that you tried it,
and I probably won't. Yeah. But yes, I did adding the shredded cheese and the Parmesan. Excellent addition.
Yeah. No, I will never go back to just having regular mac and cheese. Without
it's almost like it's like better the next day almost.
Oh yeah.
Like when it all kind of congeals together overnight. Yeah.
Leftover mac and cheese with extra cheese is so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's gotten to the point where like if we're ever like at my in-laws' house and they like make mac and cheese with dinner, I will like go into their fridge and find their shredded cheese and just add that. And they also keep Tony's in there. I think it's like because we lived with them for about a year and we like shared groceries and stuff, and like I think I like left our jar of Tony's there. And so I will like go into the cabinet, find the jar of Tony's, and I'll just like make my own, just like on my plate, because it's so good. I can't have mac and cheese just like normal out of the box, just like as instructed. I have to add my own stuff because it's like there's no going back. There's no going back. It's so good. But I'm glad you tried it. I'm glad you have your horizons have broadened for what Blue Box mac and cheese can be.
Yes.
And I await eagerly what your discovery of how to make mac and cheese better will be. Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, next time I do this, maybe I'll, like, take my steamed vegetables that I usually have and mix those in. So I usually have like broccoli and carrots and cauliflower. So I'm gonna like mix that in, and then also maybe like get some chicken and put that in there, so it's like an actual like meal, you know.
That sounds good.
So that's my idea. That's my next brilliant plan. So there we go.
Nice. That does sound good.
Yeah. So that's mac and cheese news. Thus ends our mac and cheese segment of the podcast. Like I said, it's October, so it's spooky season now. And I have been experiencing some spookier media lately in observation of that. So I don't know if you knew, but Sam, recently there was a TV show that came out on HBO Max or on Max called The Penguin. I
have heard of it.
It's a series that it's a sequel series to Matt Reeves' The Batman, which is the most recent Batman movie that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, with
Robert Pattinson as Batman. And I didn't know if I was gonna watch it, but then apparently it's been getting really, really good reviews. So I was like, okay, yeah, because I really liked the movie. But like the idea that it was gonna be a Batman thing without Batman in it, I was immediately like somewhat less interested. Not that Batman's whole like rogues gallery is great. You know, that's like that the world of Gotham and everything has so much going for it beyond Batman himself.
I think the villains in Batman are some of the best villains in all of like comic books. Like almost better than like Batman is as a character. The villains are so good in Batman.
It's great, but I do feel like Batman really like ties it all together because he's like the solid, like the rock at the center of all this, like surrounded by chaos. It's the contrast between the two that kind of makes it. It makes it work, you know. But yeah, so I have not started watching that, but I decided that I'm going to, and in preparation for that, I rewatched The Batman earlier this week.
Ooh.
Have you seen it yet, Sam?
Not yet. I don't know how I haven't seen it yet. Because I love Batman, and when I saw the trailer, it was one of those trailers that like I remember how I felt when I first watched the trailer, and it was very good and like very excited and just very like because the music sounds a lot like the music in like Batman the Animated Series, like that kind of style, but just much more cinematic and big and like atmospheric. So I am excited about the movie. I don't know how I still haven't seen. I don't think I have Max. Might be part of the problem. I mean, I know someone in our family has access to it and has offered it to me. I just haven't taken them up on it.
You could wrangle it.
Yeah, I will find a way, but it just has not been. It has not happened yet. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, that's my tangent about.
But yeah, I rewatched that this week, and it's very good. I don't think it's this is I think the second time I've seen it, because I saw it once in theaters and then I bought it on 4K and didn't watch it until this past week. And I think that it's definitely my favorite Batman movie since The Dark Knight, but I still think The Dark Knight is better, at least for me. Like I think it's a better movie still, but The Batman it's really, really good. It's excellent. I think what The Batman has going for it is, I think, maybe my favorite live action Gotham. Like it's so beautiful. Like, you know, so like the Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, those movies, the Gotham of that was mostly shot and based around Chicago, right?
Yeah, and
so
Pittsburgh.
It's a lot of like, so lots of kind of like big open streets, and this Gotham is more like New Yorkish. It's a lot more kind of narrow alleys and streets, and lots of tall buildings. And what really makes it, there's like a lot of really cool Gothic architecture in it. It feels like New York City, but like grittier and with more Gothic stuff around everywhere. So like when you go to Wayne Manor, it's not just like an old mansion. It almost looks like a cathedral or something inside because of the amount of like Gothic details and everything. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. So definitely appreciate it for that. Michael Giacchino's score is great. Agreed. It feels very, very Batman, despite being, you know, all new themes and stuff. It fits the vibe, and good. You know, that guy doesn't miss. So, it's got Andy Serkis as Alfred, so that's neat.
Oh,
yeah, he's good Alfred.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's good at anything he does. That's just
exactly.
That's Andy Serkis.
Yeah. And the mocap they did was so good. He looks just like Andy Serkis.
Wow. Could this Andy Serkis swim?
There was not an opportunity for him to have to swim in the movie.
Okay, jury's out.
I don't know.
Jury's out. Got
it. Cool. Yeah, so it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Let's see, Colin Firth as the Penguin. No, sorry, not Colin Firth. Colin
Farrell.
Yes, Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
I know that they are two distinct people. I know who they are. It's just their names sometimes slip up in my brain. I'm like, no, that guy's Pride and Prejudice. This guy is Grindelwald. Anyway.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, but Colin Farrell in like heavy but really really good prosthetic makeup. It was nominated for and maybe won the Oscar for best. Thank you to prosthetic makeup for sponsoring this episode, I guess. Yeah, it looks amazing. He looks like he's a real person, but he looks nothing like Colin Farrell. But it's him. Or Colin. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't even look like Colin Firth either, right? Yeah, excellent. The Batmobile is so cool in this movie because, like,
gosh.
It looks cool. Just like a hot rod, but like the size of a tank.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's like
it's really cool.
It's like if a muscle car and like the Tumbler from The Dark Knight had a baby. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, which is super cool. Yeah, I love the look and the feel of this movie. It's the most like kind of grounded of all of the live action Batman movies because I feel like the Dark Knight trilogy felt pretty real, but there were still things about it that were like, he's got like technology that basically feels like magic. Like the Dark Knight with like all the sonar cell phone things, or like
yes, that was wild.
Any number of other like, crazy gadgets that he has that are cool, but it's very like sci-fi. Whereas this world, this Batman in The Batman has more of a like, it feels like stuff that you would reasonably think exists today.
Cool.
Like for example, there's one part where he does do a gliding across the city thing. Mm-hmm. But instead of like in the Dark Knight movies, it's like, oh, it's a cape, but it's a cape that like when electrically charged stretches out and stiffens into a wing that he can fly on, right? But for this, it's literally just he wears a wingsuit like they have in reality. It was an actual like one of those wingsuits, and then he like falls off a building.
He just actually base jumps. I like that.
Yes. So yeah, little things like that, and like all of his gadgets and things. There's nothing that feels super high tech. There's stuff that's like, well, there is stuff that's high tech. There's like, contact lenses that have cameras and computers in them. So obviously, like,
no, they have those. Outlandish. That's real. That's normal, right? Right.
But like beyond that, like for the most part, all of his gadgets feel very tactile and real and like, physical and analog.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Yeah. So anyway, just good vibes. Love good detective movie. Good action movie. Good Batman. Love Batman. Batman's good.
I do love Batman. I love me a Batman.
He's good. Yeah. So that's that. And then the other spooky thing is I think I may have talked about this a year ago on the podcast. I don't remember, but I talked to you about Alan Wake. At one point, do you remember?
You might have.
Okay, well, anyway, Alan Wake is a video game. It is last year, Alan Wake 2 came out. After like something like 12 years after the original came out. Like 14 years. 13. Yeah, because it was 2010 is when the first Alan Wake came out. Anyway, it's a kind of horror, psychological thriller mystery where you play as an author of like mystery horror novels named Alan Wake.
Okay.
And he goes to this small town on his vacation, then his wife goes missing, and you have to, fight weird monsters and things that might be hallucinations but might be real, and but it's got good vibes. It was kind of like it was pretty modestly successful when it came out, but it's considered to be like a pretty good game. It's sort of a cult classic. And then Remedy, the studio that made it, went on to make a bunch of other games. They made Quantum Break, they made Control, and then this past year they came out with Alan Wake 2, which was like a Game of the Year nominee, and like super good apparently, like an incredible game. And I have been wanting to play it, but I haven't ever played through Alan Wake 1. So last year I started it and played like a couple hours of it, and then just like didn't get back to it. And so in my continued pursuit of trying to actually start finishing games again,
there it is.
I started replaying Alan Wake yesterday with some friends, just like hanging out at a friend's house and playing it there, and then watching. It's a very cinematic game. There's a lot of cutscenes, lots of good for an audience. It's not very the writing isn't great, and the performances are fine, and the dialogue and the writing is all very cheesy, and this is
the first one.
Yes, yeah, and the dialogue was like cutting. Sorry, not the dialogue. The graphics were they were like cutting edge for the time, but like nowadays they look really bad.
Love that.
It's like
love that.
It's like, wow, these people look kind of like real people, and now these days it's like, wow, these people look like they're made of 6 polygons and can't move anything above their chin. Like,
yeah, this definitely came out on the PS2 or something. PS3.
It was the 360.
360.
So PS3 era. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, almost.
But still, yeah. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. It's there are parts of it that are very frustrating, and just like the combat and is kind of really hard sometimes. There's like you kind of just get mobbed by people, and it's hard to like get away from them all, and you've got very limited ammo, and it's just anyway. So there were a couple sections where I was just like stuck on it for like half an hour and dying repeatedly until finally I managed to like luck my way past it, basically.
Those
I'm enjoying
those kind of video game experiences are kind of the worst, but also like when you get past it is like the most satisfying feeling, or just relief. It's either like satisfying, like I did it, or like thank God it's over, I can go on the next thing.
This definitely felt more like a thank God, oh my God, I can't believe I'm finally past this. So I've been having fun playing it and having friends hang out with me while I play it and us talking about it and making fun of mainly we're just making fun of the fact that this definitely feels very of its era, and that I feel like there was a period of time where this still happens, but I feel like it was more prominent for a period of time where it felt like so many plots in movies and TV shows and video games were white guy protagonist loses his wife and gets mad about it and runs around going, "Where's my wife? Give me my wife back!" And that's kind of the story. that's very much what this game is.
It's a tale as old as time.
To it. A tale as old as time. Where's my wife? That's my wife.
Thank you, John Mulaney.
That's my wife.
Can my girlfriend come?
But yeah, Alan Wake, I'm looking forward. I'm enjoying it, but I'm more looking forward to being able to play Alan Wake 2 later this month, which I'm definitely going to play because it comes out. So it came out a year ago, but at launch it was a actually no, it was over a year. I think maybe it came out like last February. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, point is, it's out, but for the first like year plus, it was a digital only release, and I was hoping that they would come out with a physical one. Yes, I was holding out hope, and they did announce one, and it's going to come out later this month. They're releasing it's like Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition or something is what they're calling it. But it's,
you do love your physical copies of things.
I like having physical, like if I can only get it digitally, then that's fine. But if it's a game that's like that I'm excited about and that's important to me, I like having it on my shelf to add to my collection. Yeah, it's nice.
That makes perfect sense.
And so it's gonna be like, it's the main game plus the both of the DLCs that will have come out since then.
Yeah.
And also like a download code for Alan Wake Remastered, so which is cool. But yeah, so excited about that. The Batman, Alan Wake, mac and cheese. That's kind of what's been going on.
All the important things
in my life. Yeah, all the important stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Well, what's new and upcoming in the world of Star Wars? There hasn't been anything new, right? Nothing like
No. Did you finish the Lego Star Wars thing?
No, I feel like the past 2 Sundays have been like, oh, I maybe should have done that. Well, I'm out of time.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I mean, you're not.
you know.
You're not missing much.
I want to watch the rest of it. It's just like,
yeah.
My desire to watch it is not like higher than several other things that I would rather be watching. You know,
totally fair.
Like, yeah. Oh, actually, that is one thing that I'll talk about. I started watching Misfits and Magic season 2. Misfits and Magic is that? Yeah, this is one of the many seasons of Dimension 20, Brennan Lee Mulligan's Dungeons and Dragons tabletop role-playing real play show. And so this was like, I think 3 or 4 years ago, they did a season called Misfits and Magic, which was basically it's one of my favorite seasons that they've done. I haven't seen a ton of Dimension 20, honestly. I've only seen a handful of seasons, but it's really good. It's basically like, what if Harry Potter, but like the kids were like American and they just kind of lampshaded everything about like what's weird about this universe. It's like basically Harry Potter, but calling out all the kind of weird stuff about it, and
love that.
Like, Love you know, enjoying that universe and acknowledging all the things that are wonderful and cool about it, while also acknowledging the, you know, the things that we've realized
this is objectively silly.
That are silly or problematic, or like, you know, like they at the beginning of the first episode, they're like, this is Harry Potter, but also on the first episode they basically give the middle finger to J.K. Rowling as like, you know,
well, there it is.
Which is, you know, it's important. Like, as somebody who grew up like watching those movies and reading those books, like I read all of them like maybe 3 times growing up.
Same. I remember we would go to the midnight releases of the Harry Potter books.
But yeah, Harry Potter, not to get too this could be a much longer conversation, but just like super like important to so many people of our generation, and you know, plenty of other people as well. Yeah. But also, like, J.K. Rowling is famously the most vocal anti-trans person in the world. She's not like the most like militantly, vocally, angrily anti-transgender rights person, and it's like it's a real bummer. Yeah,
like, why is this the hill you decided to die on? Like,
yeah, but yeah. So Misfits and Magic is kind of it feels good because it's like a thing that is celebrating all the things that we love about that series and that world, and the things that we grew up with, while also like acknowledging the garbage parts and being like, no, but we can still enjoy this.
Yeah, and kind of reclaiming the good from basically, this. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So and so it's the DM is Bria Iyengar, who's done a bunch of Dimension 20 stuff and also Critical Role stuff, and is great. And Brennan Lee Mulligan is one of the cast members, and it's just a ton of fun, and really it's a great group of people, and super funny, enjoyable, and it's got a really cool like world, and like the sets that they built for this season is really cool. They've got like moving things on the set, like mechanical stuff. It's very cool. But yeah, that's Misfits and Magic season 2. They're 2 episodes in so far. This is on Dropout, and yeah, recommend it. But yeah, so no news to talk about, and I guess it's time to move on to our main segment, right, Sam? Are we good? Wow.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we psyched?
We're doing it. This is happening.
Are we ready to maul? Ready to get our spidey legs?
We're gonna go to the mall.
Let's go to the mall.
Let's go to the mall.
Mall Walkin. That's
would be great.
That could be the name of this episode.
Great title of this episode.
Mall Walkin.
Mall Walkers.
Mall Walkers. That's us. All right. Well, as we said, this week we're talking about the 2-part finale of the Clone Wars Season 4. That's episodes 21 and 22, Brothers and Revenge. Sam, where does this take place in the timeline?
20, BBY.
Whoa.
Wow. You heard it here first.
All right. The moral of our first episode, Brothers, is a fallen enemy may rise again, but the reconciled one is truly vanquished. An approachable defense. A darkness awakes. Count Dooku's bitter betrayal of his former apprentice, Asajj Ventress, resulted in the creation of a new menace in the galaxy, Savage Opress. Caught in a deadly game of revenge between Ventress and Dooku, Savage barely escaped the carnage. Beaten and alone, he returned to Mother Talzin, his creator, who gave him a new quest to pursue his long-lost brother.
Yeah, so in case anyone was like confused in the last episode, Mother Talzin's definitely not dead and definitely not just a ghost. She's fine.
She magic smoked away and then she's back. She's good.
That she did.
Yeah.
She's back.
Yeah. Before we started, cool thing about this, these episodes start with a red version of the Clone Wars logo. It's the first time that's happened, and it won't happen again until season 7.
Till Order 66, right?
They were like, I think so, yeah. They were like, this is a big deal. We're bringing MAUL back. Like, yeah, we'll celebrate with a little red logo.
Because you know what else is red? MAUL.
You're right.
That's why. That's the only reason why. It's possible.
You're right.
It's possible. That's why.
Savage Opress is still on the quest for his long-lost brother, the former Sith Lord MAUL. He was sent on by Mother Talzin, but with each day, he becomes stronger and more uncontrollable. As a result, Count Dooku informs General Grievous of Savage's growing power, while Asajj Ventress and Anakin Skywalker also sense something is amiss, concerning both of their respective companions, Lotsrazi and Ahsoka Tano. Meanwhile, while Opress is on the run from authorities after an altercation at a local diner on Stobar, he finds faint clues about MAUL's whereabouts in the dust clinging to an assortment of cargo crates, and after tracing their origin back to a freighter, which had recently visited Lotho Minor, he forces the captain to take him there. Skywalker, meanwhile, visits the same diner shortly after the altercation, resulting in a standoff where the diner's owner, Lobo, tried to defend the diner with a frying pan before the misunderstanding was cleared up. Once they have arrived and Opress has pinpointed MAUL's location in the local junklands, he callously ditches the captain for flying past the location where Opress's pendant glowed and proceeds to search for his brother. In the arms of the angel.
Is he dead?
The guy.
Because it's not really confirmed he's dead.
It's true, but also he was dropped from a ship like at least like 100 feet into a flaming pile of garbage with monsters. So, like, I don't think his chances are very good. Even if he survives the fall, there's probably toxic fumes, and even if he survives those, there's also monsters and giant machines that breathe fire and eat things. And also, how would he get off the planet?
So we're gonna chalk one up for MAUL or for Savage.
Sure, yeah, we'll give that to Savage.
Great.
I would hope that this guy's still alive, but I'm not thinking it's a very good. You know what? Actually, maybe we should say no. We'll assume he's still alive because this is the episode that proved anybody can come back from the dead.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
No, Savage.
This is the episode where Star Wars does like a Marvel or DC Comics thing, where like no one's actually dead. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, there's always, like, some reason you could bring somebody back, whether it's just...
All they found of him was his finger.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Pettigrew. Speaking of Harry Potter.
Oops. Yeah.
No. But yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Okay. The amulet Mother Talzin has given him to track MAUL soon fails, but a resident anacondan, which I love that that's the name of the species. It's a snake man. He's just a snake who talks.
Yep.
Named Morley offers his guidance. Dodging the place's indigenous hazards, refuse incinerator droids, a band of hostile junkers, and a deluge of acid rain. What a fun planet this is. They arrive at a lodge where Opress's amulet flares back to life, indicating that MAUL is nearby. But at this very moment, Morley betrays Opress, plunging him down a chute into the Junkland's underworld, where his master would deal with Opress. Down in the tunnels beneath the junk, Opress is stalked and attacked by a spider-like creature, who is eventually revealed to be an emaciated and deranged MAUL, transformed into a centauroid, half-like spider cyborg. Hold on, I said those words wrong.
You just added the word like.
I did. I was like, hold on. I'm starting over. Down in the tunnels beneath the junk, Opress is stalked and attacked by a spider-like creature, who is eventually revealed to be an emaciated and deranged MAUL, transformed into a centauroid, half-spider cyborg. Centauroid. That's a word I've not heard before, but I like it.
Big fan.
Yeah, centauroid. Morley takes this inopportune moment to reappear, asking for leftovers, and under Press's tight grip, reveals that while he did exploit Maul for his own gain, it was not him who had turned him into a cyborg or left him in his current insane state before he's choked to death.
There's one.
When Oppress talks to him, there's one. The arms of... When Oppress talks to him, Maul tells him in between his mad ravings about how he was reduced to this pitiful state and that he seeks revenge on the Jedi, especially the one who did this to him. However, Oppress's quest and the menace it presents has not gone unnoticed by the strongest Force wielders in the galaxy, and Yoda has no choice but to reveal to Obi-Wan Kenobi that an old enemy has come back from the dead to haunt him once more. End of episode 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this is cool. This episode. Okay,
it's very cool.
So not like most of this episode is just like kind of foreshadowing of like people like I can feel something weird and scary is about to happen.
Sinister.
Like this is such a big deal
like 7 times.
Yes, they did say sinister many times. But like the fact that this is such a big deal that it's reverberating through the Force and everybody can kind of feel it is so spooky and cool.
Like Dooku was scared. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Dooku's never scared except for Mother Talzin and now Maul.
Yeah, it was funny to me to hear him say that something sinister was brewing while being the most sinister man in the galaxy.
Second most.
Count Dooku.
Second most. Come on.
Yeah. What?
Second most. The second.
Who are you?
Sheev Palpatine.
I didn't know if you were referring to Sheev or Maul, but sinister. He has the sinister vibes. You can't deny it. He's got the sinister vibes.
He does.
And then we get that like. The coolest part of this episode is obviously seeing Maul for the first time.
He's back.
So like,
and can I just say that like the writing for Maul in this episode, like combined with Sam Witwer's like just masterful portrayal of madness that is like Maul, this is some of like the coolest, best like Star Wars that we've seen in the Clone Wars yet. Just like like the animation's like not like what we see in later seasons, but the writing and the acting is incredible.
Yes, it's awesome. Like, man, Sam Witwer. It's so good to have Sam Witwer in the show finally. For those that don't know, which most of you listening to this probably know because you're
listening to this podcast.
But yeah. But Sam Witwer, Prince of the Star Wars nerds. He's a huge Star Wars fan and Star Wars nerd, and he got his start working in Star Wars as the voice and motion capture and likeness for Starkiller, the secret apprentice of Darth Vader that is now non-canon. But anyway, it was in the Force Unleashed video games. And then they brought him back to voice Maul in the Clone Wars, and he does such an amazing job. And he's voiced other characters since, too, I think. But those are the main ones he's known for. And he's great. And, oh my god, I've watched some, like, behind-the-scenes, or not behind-the-scenes stuff, but, like, him talking about what it was like to play Maul and to record these lines specifically. And I think he talked about when he was, like, he's kind of doing his insane ramblings to himself down in the cave. He's like I think Sam Witwer said that he like ad-libbed a bunch of stuff, or like kind of added things in. It was just kind of insane raving and rambling that they then added into the episode. And some of that is like stuff that at that point wasn't like canon necessarily, that there was like the Sith code and things like that he just like threw in there by like just saying stuff, and it's like he's got to make that canon.
Yeah, that's canon now because you just like mumbled it. Love that.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah, his performance is great. His voice is incredible, and the writing and just excellent all around. It's also just such a cool, like, weird, creepy character design. Yeah, like it's Maul, but he's like emaciated, and also his horns are like overgrown and long, and
he's got like weird extra like black kind of sinewy like vein things going on, like his like his like red and black, like it's not tattoos but just like his body coloring is usually kind of like the color's usually crisp and distinct, and now like you can see kind of like the black bleeding into the red on his skin.
Yeah. He's not in great shape.
He's not great.
And then of course there's the bottom half of him is a giant monstrous mechanical spider body with 8 legs.
Yeah.
It's like, so I remember I want to talk about how like crazy this is that this happened and how cool it is that this happened,
so
that
cool.
they brought MAUL back. Like, so I remember when the Clone Wars first came out, I saw the movie in theaters, the first, like, the Clone Wars animated movie pilot thing. Thought it was okay, and then didn't really watch the series all that much when it was airing. And then I remember at one point, like, hearing somewhere, like, that, oh yeah, they brought MAUL back. And I was like, what do you mean they brought back Darth Maul? He got cut in half. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then one time I was, like, at a store, like, I don't know, it was at a GameStop or some, like, I don't know, some sort of nerd memorabilia store, and I saw a statue of Spider Maul, and I was like, what is that? Maul gets spider legs? What is that for? I'm sorry. And what happened in my brain at that moment was like, I was like, oh, I guess Star Wars kind of jumped the shark now. We like we've
That's exactly what happens.
We've gone off the deep end. It's weird, and like, yeah, but no, it's like they make it work. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so compelling and cool, and the way, like, because
the idea if all you hear is that Maul is back and he has spider legs now, all you're gonna think is like, oh yeah, definitely that's jump the shark, we're done. Like,
yeah,
we have lost grip with like what is normal in reality in the Star Wars universe, and we're just like,
yes,
let's just we need to up viewership. What's something? Let's bring Darth Maul back. Everyone loves Darth Maul. Let's do that. Yeah, but in context, as I'm sure you're about to say, like, it works really well.
Yeah. It's incredible. So I think a lot of people were kind of in retrospect were kind of disappointed by the fact that Maul was killed off so quickly. Like, you know, in Phantom Menace, we don't get to see a ton of him, and then he gets one really cool fight sequence, and then he gets cut in half and dies, and he's dead. But he's like, it's such a cool character design, and he's so menacing and creepy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we don't really ever get to learn much about him.
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of dead.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people, like probably Dave Filoni included, felt like, man, I wish I had known more about this character. I want to know more. Like I wanted to see more of him. And so I need to look up. I'm sure there's been things that Filoni has said about, like, him talking to George Lucas about, like, hey, I want to bring back Maul. Can I do that? And, you know, apparently him saying yes. But like, it's so cool, the idea that they were like, you know what, we want to bring back this character, but also we want to do it justice. This can't be like because this is like a major character in Star Wars whose death was like a really big deal and died in a way that you would think would be impossible to come back from. So the idea that he could come back from that, you have to be really careful with it and really dedicated to, like, convincing the audience that this makes sense. Yeah. And I think the way that they, like, this episode does that really well. Oh yeah. You know, they're like, this is a guy who is like, you know, he's not just coming back like, aha, I'm back from the dead, I'm gonna kill you, Obi-Wan. He's like, he's damaged deeply, like, physically and mentally, and like, he's doing everything he can to just stay alive, and the way he knows how to do that is just by, you know, sheer force of will through the dark side of the Force, just like, you know, being kept alive basically by his anger and his fury and his thirst for vengeance against Obi-Wan.
Literally too angry to die.
Yes, which is such a cool, like if the dark side were gonna do anything to, like, preserve life, it would be like that. It would, you know, it would be like, the way you can use the dark side to survive is to just get so mad that you refuse to die. Like, but it does stuff to you, as we've seen
clearly.
And then he gets he gets new legs. But yeah, that's the next episode. But yeah, this is just, it's so cool. It's so well done. Yeah, like you said, Sam Witwer's performance is amazing. The character design for this, we only see this character design of Maul for, like, about an episode. Yeah. But it's so detailed and spindly and cool and creepy. Like, when we first see him, like, you know, like, scrambling through the caves and skittering around, and, like, when he first attacks Savage, it's so, like, his movements are so bug-like that it made me kind of, like, my skin crawl, you know? Yeah. It's like, he's so like weird and creepy and like hit it, somebody get it out of here. Yeah. I don't want this in my apartment.
We need a giant newspaper. That's what we need.
Yeah, if only we had a giant newspaper, we would have defeated them all so easily. That's all we needed.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Oh well.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But yeah, so this is just super cool and very exciting. I'm glad that they, like, you know, that they brought back MAUL and brought him back in such a, what I felt like is a respectful and cool way. And
oh yeah.
And then, you know, MAUL continues to be like an important part of Star Wars for, you know, the next whatever, like, decade of in universe time or whatever. You know, it's, you know, he's a major player, which makes sense because he would be a major player, right?
Yeah, it's basically until like the next 19 years he's around, because he dies like right. It's like one BBY when he dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It's like during season 3 of Rebels, I want to say.
Yeah, it's like tail end of Rebels.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's so cool. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just love it. We should probably move on, but yeah, it's great. Okay, time for us to move on to the second episode. Sam, do you want to tell us some things about our next episode, like sure. the moral and the summary and all?
I'll tell you things. So, the final episode of season 4 of the Clone Wars is titled "Revenge." It takes place in 20 BBY, and the moral of this episode is: the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Revenge. I must have revenge.
An impenetrable defense.
An impenetrable defense.
An impenetrable defense. Brothers reunited. Darth Maul, the sinister Sith thought to have been destroyed so many years ago by Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, was found alive by his brother Savage Opress and taken back to Mother Talzin on Dathomir. Though Darth Maul's memory has yet to be fully restored, his need for vengeance has awakened, more powerful than ever. Reunited, Maul and Savage Opress travel back to Dathomir, where the brothers are led by Mother Talzin to her village, where she removes Maul's spider-like cybernetics and uses magics with a CK to create new cybernetic legs, as well as restore Maul's sanity. This was really cool that, like, as Savage and Mother Talzin are walking in, like, on Dathomir, they're, like, stepping over the corpses of, like, the Night Sisters, but also over all, like, the wrecked battle droids and stuff. There's still a lot of battle droids there. And it looks like she uses super battle droid legs to make I was wondering about that. Legs. Like, I didn't notice that before, but, like, they're made out of, like, spare parts from, like, the perpetrators of the massacre of her people, which is wild.
Yeah. That's pretty metal.
Wait a second.
Like, jeez. Hey! I didn't mean for that to be a pun.
There it is. Once back to full health and reborn, Maul reminisces about surviving his dark path of being discarded, forgotten, and lost, with only his hatred keeping his spirit intact. Maul felt the Force was out of balance. As Maul felt the Force was out of balance, he learns from Savage that there is an ongoing conflict, the Clone Wars, which is just wild that you can, like, he just didn't know that the Clone Wars happened.
Yes, but also what was interesting is that, like, his response to that is, oh, so it's begun without me. Like, he knew something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, he knew enough about Sidious's plans that, like...
Which, like, we see a lot of this. Yeah. Like, Maul, like, is always kind of, like, almost kind of an evil prophet kind of figure, where, like...
Yeah, he can see the future.
He can see the future,
but, like, he knows things.
He can kind of, like... He can see, like, where just kind of the overall trajectory of the galaxy's going better than the Jedi can, because, like, he's in touch with the dark side of the Force, and that's kind of, like, where a lot of this nasty stuff is coming from. But also
that,
because...
And also he was his apprentice.
He was Sidious's apprentice. Yep.
He had the insider info.
That he did. Realizing the Clone Wars began without him, Maul felt that he was robbed of his destiny of being more than a Sith apprentice to the most powerful being in the galaxy. Although Savage believes Maul can begin again, The two brothers agree to wreak Maul's revenge on the Jedi who reduced him to his state. Obi-Wan Kenobi. To bring them to him, Maul and a press travel to a village on the planet of Raydonia, slaughter the inhabitants, and send a hologram message to the Jedi Temple challenging Obi-Wan to come to them. Which I counted, there were... he killed the 5 kids that were there. Plus the 5 people on the hologram. Plus at least one more in that we see just kind of in him walking along. So that's 11 kills for Maul so far.
We're assuming those kids died.
Yeah.
We don't technically see the kids die, but yeah.
We don't, but like...
Man, that would be dark. Like, it's already dark, but like if they just showed him like massacring children on this television show...
Star Wars would never show any Sith Lord killing kids.
They don't show it. They don't show it, Sam. They don't. He goes, Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? And then the lightsaber ignites, and then they cut away because they're not going to show him cutting down children.
He murdered younglings. Younglings. All right. Despite Mace Windu's suggestion to send a Jedi task force, Obi-Wan decides that he must go alone to rectify his mistake. But as Windu expresses his concerns about this undertaking, Yoda cryptically states that Obi-Wan will not be alone in this endeavor. And as he speaks, in a certain place on Tatooine, it's the Mos Eisley Cantina, Asajj Ventress learns of a reward placed on the head of Savage Opress and goes off after him. Obi-Wan travels to the Raydounian village and is quickly taken down by Maul and a press, who take him aboard the hijacked freighter to be tortured to death. However, just before the takeoff, Ventress has landed on the planet, found their ship, and hitched a ride. Appearing before the two brothers, she taunts them, saying Savage is still an animal, making them abandon an unconscious Obi-Wan to search for her. Ventress returns to Obi-Wan, wakes him up, and lends him one of her lightsabers for his defense when Maul and a press return. It's cool to see Obi-Wan fight with a red lightsaber.
Oh my god,
that was so cool.
It was also funny just for him to be like she hands it to him and she's like, I want that back, and he's like, oh no, don't worry, red's not my color.
Yeah.
Just such a great Obi-Wan thing to say. It is
so good.
Yeah.
The two team up to fight the brothers, but find themselves outmatched and just barely escape by jettisoning the ship's cockpit, leaving Maul and a press adrift. Despite the setback, Maul is satisfied that the Jedi will yet come after him once more, and that he will get his revenge after all. At last we'll have our revenge. End of the arc. End of season 4 of the Clone Wars. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So that last, like, it kind of glossed over in like one sentence, but that whole sequence of the 4 of these force wielding, lightsaber wielding warriors fighting each other on the ship is so cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah, we get Asajj Ventress and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Maul and Savage Opress, and it's so cool. Obi-Wan uses a red lightsaber, and just so much cool stuff happens, and it's just so cool to see them fighting. The fight sequence is really good. It was mostly like kind of 2 1v1 fights, you know. It's like Obi-Wan and Maul,
but they did keep
and
trading who they were fighting with. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, there was some back and forth. Yeah.
Also,
it was
one thing. There was a bit of a lore drop in this episode too, that I didn't catch until watching it this time. That Asajj refers to Maul and Savage as Night Brothers.
Have they not used the term Night Brother before?
I don't think they have.
Huh.
She just called them Sons of Dathomir is what they've been referred to.
True.
So Night Brothers, the Night Brothers clan, which is, I guess, I don't know. I think that's the first time that they've called them that.
It's totally possible. Yeah, I don't. Because
I heard it. I'm like, I've never heard that before, or at least I never clocked it.
I'm looking at it in Wikipedia. It says so they're the first in the episode Monster. So not this. This is earlier.
That's the one. The one that Savage is turned into Savage.
It says their first appearance. But also that was the first time they were identified as Night Brothers. So
okay, I missed it then.
They were mentioned before that, but they didn't use the word Night Brother until they were actually shown. But no, like it's not. You're right. Like we don't actually hear that phrase very often.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, I missed it that one time, but I caught it this time. But hey, there it is.
Yep. So this fight just super cool. I love just the idea of this fight. So we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting the guy who killed his master, who he cut in half, who came back with metal legs like 10 years later.
And nothing but anger.
And also his brother, who's like a giant hulking monster. And also
Mr. Krabs.
Who's also Mr. Krabs. And also Asajj Ventress, who is a former apprentice of an apprentice of...
She's a former apprentice of the guy who replaced Maul.
Yes. And also is a witch and a now like a mercenary, a bounty hunter basically now. Yeah. But which, by the way, we do get a brief appearance of Embo again.
Embo, there's my boy.
I like pointing at Embo whenever he's there. He's great. He was in the cantina. But
we should have an ongoing Embo sightings counter that we.
Yes. But we already whatever.
It's been
Embo sighting. Ding. We did it.
We saw him.
It's Embo, everybody's favorite character.
The main character of Star Wars, Embo.
Yes, true. Embo, Star Wars story.
I'd watch it. I'll watch that 10 times.
One thing I noted was I don't think her design is any different now than she was last time we saw her, but Asajj Ventress's outfit is super cool. I love her current look.
Is.
She is she looks like she's come into her own style a bit, and she looks how she wants to look, and it's it's cool. I talked a little bit last time about how much I love getting to see a lightsaber wielding force wielder who's not a Jedi or a Sith. You can just kind of see them out in the world doing stuff,
just on their own.
Cool. And then so that was super cool. There was also a lot of really good Obi-Wan quips in this episode.
So many.
There were a few that maybe actually laugh out loud, but I can't remember most of them. There was the bit where he was your legs make you look taller, or something like that. But anyway, it's he said yeah, man, if I wish I had when I cut you in half, I wish I had aimed for your neck. Anyway, but just more delightful Obi-Wan, more just Maul is back.
He's back.
That's really what it comes down to. Is these are really good episodes, but for the most part, it feels like setup, because a lot of season 5 is going to be focusing on Maul and his misadventures throughout the galaxy.
Yes,
so much happens.
So much does happen.
All right.
Next season, do we get all the? I guess Maul on Mandalore is season 7, right? Or is it also season 5?
It's also I think because he's he becomes the leader of Death Watch, I think, and I think that happens season 5.
Yeah,
and then later on,
season 5 is where we get a lot of Darksaber lore, right?
I don't know. I remember it's been a bit.
We'll find out
watch
soon.
It, so we'll find out. Well, right. Well, that was fun. That was good. Well, do you have a favorite part of this arc, Sam?
Other than obviously the lightsaber battle at the end, which was
excellent.
Yeah, objectively the best part of the whole.
And
arc.
It was in close quarters too. It was in close quarters, and it was kind of also vertical because there were 2 levels, and so there was a lot of jumping up and down and falling, and it was really cool, tight space for them to 4 lightsaber wielders locked in a tall box. Just going at it.
There was at one point that Asajj jumps over the both of them, and Obi-Wan gives her kind of a force push assist, which was kind of a cool little little teamwork fun thing.
There's another moment when Obi-Wan throws picks up one of Asajj's sabers off the ground and throws it to her just in time for her to ignite it and block a block from Maul or Press. Lots of cool just team up bits. I love a good team up. I love a good unlikely allies team up.
Oh yeah,
that's what this was.
I think though my favorite part other than that. My least favorite part was seeing a diner and realizing Dex wasn't there. That was my least favorite part of the arc. This isn't Dex's diner. Sad. But my favorite part that wasn't MAUL was the Morley, the weird snake guy. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He was silly. I liked him a lot. Very weird. Very. It's just like, this is funny. I like him. I like dumb funny Star Wars. That's if we've learned anything from this podcast is I love dumb funny Star Wars.
Yes, he feels like somebody that would be in like a 1950s 1960s Disney movie as like a weird random like side character.
Yeah, he very much reminded me of like Jungle Book or like and like any of like the snake characters from like that era of Disney. Is like what it like more like the guy from like Robin Hood. I don't know.
I haven't actually seen Robin Hood, so I don't know.
We watched. It's one of Marion's favorites. Sarah grew up on Robin Hood, and so we watched Robin Hood a lot. It's really good.
It's one of her favorites because it's got a Marion in it.
That's part of the reason she loves the name so much is because she grew up with that character.
I know that. I was referring to Marion herself, if she likes it because there's a Marion.
Oh, Marion does like that too. Yep.
Cool. Good.
Yep.
Excellent. That's cool.
Yes.
Let's see. My favorite part, I guess the initial reveal of MAUL is so good. That
was really cool.
Like the seeing him like skitter around in the shadows and then slowly see more and more of him, and then we finally get a close up of him, and he's just this crazed, monstrous lunatic, and his creepy spindly legs, and it's just so good. It's so good. Yeah, I'll say that. MVP. I mean, MAUL, I guess.
Yeah. MAUL or Asajj Ventress, just kind of like Obi-Wan would be dead if Asajj Ventress didn't show up.
She swings in and saves Obi-Wan. That's true.
Yep.
And to be fair, MAUL doesn't really win anything, does he? He just kind of
never.
He wins in that he comes back from the dead and gets new legs and not insane anymore.
And lots of cool dialogue, and is just like one of the most compelling characters in all Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
He gets that.
That's true. MAUL, Asajj, Obi-Wan gets to not die. He gets
How about this? How about this? MVP is Sam Witwer.
Yes.
Done.
Agreed. Sam Witwer is MVP. Agreed, definitely. Main character kills. Let's see. We talked about Savage kills the snake, and he kills like 4 randos on that planet, on the junk planet.
I think I counted 12.
Right?
Yeah.
What? Really? 12?
Yeah, 12. So he got 13 total.
Wow, okay.
And then MAUL got close to the same.
And then
MAUL got.
Yeah.
I want to say 12 or 13.
12? 11? Yeah.
Maybe 11.
Like we'll give them both 12. That's even.
Yeah, there we go. That works.
Yeah.
Everything's made up of the points that matter. It's fine.
Exactly. Lost limbs. There were gained limbs.
Oh. Yeah, I'd say 8. 8 lost limbs.
Yeah, lost 8, gained 2. So net 6
minus 6. Should we put that? He lost 6 limbs.
No, I don't.
It's funny. It's funny. Do it.
Yeah, let's do it. It's funny. Yeah. Okay. MAUL lost 6 limbs.
Which means he's lost 8 total so far. Womp.
Gosh, man, impressive. Also, I wish that we had gotten a Wilhelm scream when Morley died, when he got choked to death.
I know. Yeah. Or when Savage fell down the pit. That would have been great.
Yeah. That would be good.
Can you imagine Savage getting a Wilhelm scream?
Oh, amazing. I wish he had lived longer so that he could have been thrown out a window and done the Wilhelm scream.
We're still alive.
Anyway. I know, but he's gonna die. I mean, I wish he had lived more so we could have seen more of him.
Don't say that.
Okay, I won't.
Mr. Krabs, come on.
More Star Wars is better Star Wars.
He does get resurrected as Red Rosati, though, so it's fine. That's my that's my low stakes
reincarnated.
My low stakes theory is that Ryder Azadi is Savage Best reincarnated.
Yes, yeah, because Ryder Azadi, who's an old man in Rebels, he's definitely the reincarnation of.
Weird things have happened in Star Wars, like Maul coming back from the dead.
Maul came back from the dead.
Literally anything is possible. It's fine.
Yeah. More Star Wars is better Star Wars. How does this episode make the movies and the rest of Star Wars better? Well, number one, Maul.
More Maul is better Maul.
More Maul is better Maul. Agreed. So we get Maul coming back. That's obviously the biggest, most exciting, coolest, most major thing.
Yes.
And then smaller stuff is I love that we get a team up between Asajj and Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah,
that's always a cool thing. I love a good, unlike the Allies, and I love getting to see people who are like, who disagree with each other, but they're not necessarily like Asajj Ventress is not like, I would not say she's an evil person anymore. She's self-interested, but she's not like a bad guy.
Yeah.
At this point, and I
she's kind of just your oops. She's kind of just like your brooding, like, used to be bad, isn't bad anymore, but isn't good either kind of character.
She's a little bit Catwoman-y, a little bit like like
Catwoman,
kind of self-interested,
or like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Yes,
I would not be able to.
No.
To agree or disagree, but I agree for the sake of keeping the peace. I agree.
I mean, Vegeta's just literally always angry, and like his only goal in life is just to be better than Goku. He's not like, he used to like be Goku's sworn enemy, but now like their like wives are best friends, and so like they're basically brothers-in-law, but who like just like are always like competing, and Goku's just like objectively the best at all the time ever. Like there's been like Vegeta like just through sheer anger can like keep up, but only barely. And Goku's just like I'm the best. I'm saying Jesus. Like it's fine. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. So more team ups, more Asajj Ventress, always cool. More Obi-Wan getting to quip, and then just like setting up for what's going to happen next season, which is a whole lot of Maul doing crazy things and more Maul fighting and Maul getting to do cool things.
Oh yeah, we love it.
Also, we got Spider Maul in this.
Spider Maul. Spider Maul. Spider Maul.
Spider Maul. Does whatever a Spider Maul does. Do we have any listener mailbag today, Sam? No?
Jason must hate us. Or is busy.
Dang.
One or the other.
Jason, how dare you?
I know.
Can't believe you.
I know.
You didn't even tell us that Pong Krell sucks this week.
Wow.
Come on.
I'll do it for him. Jason,
slacking.
Jason, I'm gonna tap in for you. Pong Krell sucks, Jack, in case you forgot.
What?
Someone has to tell somebody every episode now that Pong Krell sucks.
Okay, cool. Good.
We did it. Check the box. Did the quota. Jason, it's up to you next time. Ding. Come on. I can't do this forever. This is your bit, not mine.
You're taking it. You're running with it.
I am, but only because I have to.
Cool. Well, that was fun. We finished season 4 of the Clone Wars.
Wow.
How did we get here? Let the days go by. And you may find yourself living on a garbage planet. And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a big old spider legs. And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a brother who's a monster.
This is not my beautiful house. These are not my spider legs.
Where's Kenobi? I must have my revenge. When the days come by.
This episode of Loaded Content is also brought to you by the Talking Heads. Or not. They might hate us now. I don't know. I feel like they'd like it.
I like to think Dave Byrne is super a big fan of Unlimited Content, and he's just
He could.
I think so.
Dave Byrne, prove it.
I think he would agree that my brilliant parody of
on the spot too. That was
Once
improvised.
in a Lifetime. Yeah, my improvised parody of Once in a Lifetime, but make it about Maul was a masterpiece, and
indeed
that I should be paid royalties.
You should. Honestly. Why not?
All right. Everybody, thank you for listening again. Tune in next time when we'll be talking about the Clone Wars Season 5. Oh my gosh, season 5 episodes 2 and 3, not episode 1 because that's later for some reason. Episodes 2 and 3, A War on Two Fronts and Frontrunners. So, we get what's his face? Saw Gerrera. Yeah,
Lies.
Saw Gerrera is going to be in the next
Deception.
episode.
Every day.
Have we met Saw yet?
Lies.
Is this the first time?
Maybe.
I'm looking.
I don't know. We watched The Bad Batch at the same time we were watching a lot of this, so I don't really remember.
True, yeah. First appearance, A War on Two Fronts. Yeah, so...
Oh.
Yeah, so we get to meet Saw Gerrera next time.
Chronological introduction to Saw Gerrera.
Yay! Right, that's cool.
Yep. My first introduction to Saw Gerrera was Rogue One, because I didn't know he was a character until then.
Deceptions! Yeah. Yeah, tune in next time, everybody, when we'll be talking about the Clone Wars Season 5, Episodes 2 and 3, A War on Two Fronts, and Frontrunners.
Yeah. And don't tune in next time if you don't want to hear us just do our Saw Gerrera impressions the entire episode, because I know that's what's going to happen. We're just going to go every like 3 seconds.
Every day more lies.
Every day more lies. Have you come to kill me?
Man, I'm so excited. Season 5 has some of my favorite episodes of Clone Wars, and it's. I mean, like every season so far has had some real great ones, but like literally some of my favorite episodes of television ever are in season 5 of the Clone Wars. I'm so excited.
Didn't the Clone Wars get canceled after season 5 and then got brought back later?
So what? Yeah. So basically, they were like midway through production of season 6 when it got canceled, and so they released like a shortened season 6 on Netflix. Like I think Netflix picked it up and kind of funded the rest of season 6, and then that got released. And like I think also got released on Blu-ray as The Lost Missions. And then after that, the Clone Wars was in hiatus for several years until they finally brought it back for season 7 on Disney Plus. So
love it.
Yeah, but this is the last like full length season.
Weird.
Yeah, because season 5 looks like 20 episodes, and then season 6 has 13 episodes, and then season 7 has 8 episodes. So yeah.
So there's only like 40 episodes left. 41.
Oh, but also there's let's see, 4 unfinished episodes that are canon that they have animatics of, basically, that we need to watch also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are those?
Have you ever watched the Clone Wars unfinished episodes? They're in between season 6 and 7.
No.
Yeah, it's cool. They're all like online, like on the Star Wars website for free, and they're fully voiced, and they have like primitive, like not fully animated, but like models that kind of like move around like little action figures.
Weird.
And like none of the effects or backgrounds are done, but they were finished enough that they're like, we'll put these out in the world because we didn't get to finish them, and sure. And so they're still officially canon, but they're unfinished. So we will be watching those after season 6 is over.
That's so weird.
Indeed.
I didn't know that. I've seen like clips of those online. I had no idea that was actually canon. I just thought it was deleted scenes. Is what I assumed it was, like from the DVDs.
Yeah, they're legit, like full. Yeah, there's one called Crystal Crisis, which is like it's such a there's basically a couple of episodes that are about them uncovering the basically early, like they're trying to get like a giant crystal for the Death Star, basically, to like be like the
initial like
the kyber crystal for the Death Star, and they're like, they don't know what it's for, but they're like, somebody's gonna be doing something bad with this, and then they fail to like keep it away from the bad guys, and it's like, wonder what that's about.
And then they did something similar with that in Rebels, right? Like, I remember like
probably
I think Ezra like found the kyber crystal through the Force or something, the one that was like supposed to go in the Death Star, and then they blew it up.
I don't know. I don't remember, but I don't doubt it. I just am not remembering right now.
We'll get there. In like 80 years.
We will get there, which is weird to think. But honestly, like we say 80 years, we joke about how long it is, but I'm like, we've been doing this for a year and a half at this point, and we're already in season 5 of the Clone Wars. That's nuts to me, because the Clone Wars is the single like biggest chunk of the Clone Wars. I don't know, of Star Wars.
Yeah, Rebels is gonna take about as long as the Clone Wars does, because there's no arcs in Rebels.
Yeah, because it's a bunch of individual episodes, so it'll probably be just as long.
Yeah.
I haven't done the counting, so who knows? But
we'll get there.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yep.
All right. May the force be with you all, everybody.
Hey, before we go, you want to?
What?
I've just remembered that I was going to tell you a funny story that Marion did today. You want to hear a funny story?
Okay. Yes. Bonus segment. Marion told a funny story.
So we're sitting at the dinner table, and I've been today's Sunday, Friday and Saturday I worked 12-hour shifts both those days, and so I literally didn't see Marion those days, and Marion's been missing me and stuff, and we were just kind of just sitting there oh, this is nice, we're having some good family time. And Sarah looks at Marion and goes, Marion, how much do you love Daddy? And she stretches out her arms as far as she goes, I love him this much. And you go, oh, Marion, I love you this much too. And then she looks at Mommy and goes, but Mommy, you only love Daddy this much. And holds her hands right in front of her shoulders. So just a little bit. You only love Daddy this much. Which was adorable and hilarious. And I laughed harder than I've laughed in a long time. Which is that. And then I forget, Sarah and I were a couple minutes later, we were arguing about something, who said something first. Not arguing, but trying to no, I think I did that. No, you did that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then Marion goes, Mommy, Daddy, quit squabbling. You're squabbling. Stop squabbling. She used the word squabbling.
Quit squabbling.
And we're like, where did you learn that word? And you used it correctly. What the heck?
Quit squabbles.
Quit squabbling. Come on. All right.
That's incredible. I love her so much.
She's the best.
I love her this much. I love her this much.
That's your whole arms. That's a lot.
Yeah. I love you this much.
I know. I deserve that.
That's so funny. How did Sarah react to that?
We both just died laughing. It was so funny. Marion she's hilarious. She's so funny.
That's awesome.
She's a little comedian. We're all doomed. She's strong, she's smart, she's pretty, and she's hilarious. We are all doomed.
Oh no.
Yep. She'll take over the world.
What are we gonna do? Well, oh well. You know what? Worst people to have the
That's true. That's at least it's her. Yep. Right, and she loves me this much, so we're gonna be all right.
Yes. Love your friends and family this much, guys.
This much.
And quit your squabbling, and may the force be with you.
Yeah. Also, quit your spice. Don't do it this time. Put my foot down this time.
It's bad for you.
It's bad.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, cut the chatter.
Quit your squabbling.
Roger.